Welcome to the final watch along of 2021. It's 21, right?
No, it still
Happy
is.
to
Yes.
be here as we are getting ready we finished our countdown to the Book of Boba Fett, and we are here for the first watch along of the Book of Boba Fett. My name is Spencer. I'll be your host this evening, and I am with always Jeff. Jeff, how are you tonight?
I'm good. So to speak, I haven't been feeling great this week, but I'm feeling much better right now. We have a great guest that's made me feel a little bit better too.
Aw. Well, we are honestly very honored and very pleased to be bringing both our fans and Leilani and Ariel Shiu from the Mandalorian and from the Book of Boba Fett. Ladies, welcome to the virtual Cantina.
Hi, nice to meet you. Ariel, say hi.
Hi.
Great seeing you guys.
Can you see us? I hope you can see us.
Great seeing you. Great.
See, just fine.
Oh, we absolutely can see you.
Okay, good.
So, as we were mentioning before, everybody in our group, if you have questions for the ladies, for both or one or the other, please put them into the chat. We will ask them, but we're going to be watching, obviously, episode 1. It's not chapter 17, as the rumor might have said. It's episode 1, chapter 1 of the Book of Boba Fett. So
it's
that was just an internet rumor. So different show. But we're very excited to be watching this. So, Leilani, tell us, how did you get involved, first of all, in the entertainment industry?
Okay. Being little.
Great sweatshirts, by the way.
Thank you.
Oh, there we go. Nice matching.
Being a little person, I've always been in a central castings database. So whenever they need a little person, I get the specialty background, or I get called in for stand-ins. So I've always done acting, but it's always been like behind the scene, child stand-in, etc. So with with this, I got a call. I didn't have to audition or anything. And I got a call for Mando. I didn't even know what it was. They're very secretive and everything. So
yeah, especially back then, right? Yeah.
Yes, I was really lucky. They called me, and then I had to do what do you call it? Costumes, for fitting. And then I went to all the different types of heads, everything. They measured us and everything. So I didn't even know what I was. And we were called a different name before we even, being on set. Once we were on set, we still didn't know what we were, because we were called something different. We were all cloaked up. Once we got on set, we didn't know until we started filming. So it was awesome.
So
wow, yeah, it must have been surreal.
Were you Star Wars fans going into this, or when you found out, were you excited, or was this like completely out of the blue?
Oh no, I was excited, because as a child, I wasn't like a Barbie person. I was always a Princess Leia fan. Right?
Nice.
I grew up with a brother that's only 2 years younger than me, and he was always into Star Trek, Star Wars, all the G.I. Joe toys, etc. So I've always been in that kind of environment because of my brother. So when Return of the Jedi came out, I was there with my brother standing in line. That's how old I am. But yes, so
club.
yeah, back
guilty.
when
Most of us are.
Dollar theaters back in the day. But yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So then I got to experience that. So yeah, I've always been a Princess Leia fan. Always wanted to. I dress up like Princess Leia. Nice. It's always been like superhero things. So
yeah.
I'm
so
sure.
Ariel, did you just get dragged along with your mother, or is this just something that you always wanted to do as well?
For this show, no. Well, I was filling for her. She had a show. It's an interesting story. She was on the Janet Jackson tour.
Oh, very nice.
She had to go on the road, and she couldn't make it one day, and they said So I'll let her explain.
So what happened was
Uh,
I'm actually in the music business. So my real
Okay.
job is getting artists played on the radio. And
Oh,
so
nice.
I happened to be on Janet's tour. So I was going to we were taking her to see Ryan Seacrest do everything in New York. And so
Mhm.
I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, we're filming next week too. And see, because we didn't know a lot of stuff, right? And I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, I have a daughter because I really want this job. I want to continue filming. And because I already filmed a couple of days, and I'm like, I have a daughter that could fit my outfit, everything. She's little, just like me. Is it possible that she could fill in? And then when I get back, then you take me again. And they're like, you have a daughter? And I'm like, yes, because they were looking for more littles. And they're like, well, let me see pictures of her. And they're like, oh, okay, yes, done, deal. And so when I went on the tour, Ariel filled in a day for me, and they ended up liking her a lot that day. So then we both got to play it. So they decided to fit her for a costume and everything. So we were just lucky. So it worked
That's
out.
absolutely fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's
Sure.
fantastic. So obviously the cat's out of the bag, especially on your personal social, that you are part of the Book of Boba Fett family as well as the Mandalorian family. How did it come to be that you got so lucky to be part of both shows?
Well, let's see. I think we could say that. Well, Lucasfilm is in John Favreau and Dave are in charge of both. So whatever they do. So it happens that John and Dave, thank God, loves us. So we've been blessed that we did Mando 1, Mando 2, and then when Book of Boba Fett was starting to film and started to cast, they chose me and they chose Ariel. So we were
Cool.
just so yeah. So because of that,
Yeah,
we're in the same. So in the Star Wars family,
that
so
group?
I'm in the Star Wars family.
Absolutely. We came to an understanding a long time ago in our group that we're in the Filoni verse and we just better get used to it because we're all Filoni fans, and once you're in with Dave Filoni, everything is great.
Yes.
How is it working with Dave and John?
Oh, Dave is awesome. Dave and John are really awesome. It's great because I've always been a fan. Then Ariel and I are a fan of Happy. We're a fan of, everything he's done.
Dave.
Character.
Dave, and being on set with them is like, oh my God, and there's the boss, So it's like, you kind of get starstruck, and then our whole unit becomes a family. And I'm sure Chris and Misty, who's been on the show with you, has told you everything is, we're all family now. So once they get their core group, we all become family oriented. And so it's great, especially when we do cons and stuff, we're all together, we're grouped. Like I've been with the Mando crew, and so it's great being with Emily. It's been great doing with Chris, let's see, Tate, Barry, Misty. So it's been fun. But yeah,
It's
John,
always
awesome.
it's always a pleasure to see somebody's name, a familiar name, in another episode after you've seen them. Like Chris played a couple different droids and things like that. So it's whenever I'm watching the credits, I'm like, there he is. That was who that was, and I love that.
Yeah,
So
I love Chris. He's awesome.
yeah, no, he's absolutely fantastic. And everybody that we've spoken to and met, at conventions involved in the Mando team have been absolutely literally out of this world, friendly, warm, loving life, because they said that it's the best job in the world. You're getting to make Star Wars. I mean, it's incredible. I mean, you can remember that after Return of the Jedi, we really didn't have any Star Wars for 16 years. And
Yes.
now nobody has
Yeah.
to wait for Star Wars ever again. Like you have the streaming. It's incredible.
You know what's compared to we all talk, I guess, because me and Chris and some of us are a little older, so we talk about it on set. Not Ariel's generation, but my generation. We talk about, it's sad that the kids nowadays, now that they're learning about Star Wars and stuff, they don't get to go to the toy store we were blessed that we got to go to Toys R Us. It's like once
Love
it comes on and it's like, oh my God, let's go to the toy store and grab everything Star Wars, because Toys R Us had everything Star Wars, you know. And now
they had a big
the kids don't get that.
section.
You know, they get to go to GameStop or they get to go to Target, but it's still not the same as going into a toy store and having fun and everything.
Not like a KB Toys when you're going to the mall, or like, I completely, I get that. And
or even something
one of the things I love
as like a Sears catalog back in the day.
Yes, exactly.
That was an amazing resource to find what was coming out.
Remember when
one
we,
sorry.
Oh no, that's okay.
Go ahead.
Oh no,
please go. No,
it's the same like from Christmas, like we used to have that Sears catalog and we would mark what we want from Santa.
Oh yeah.
And so same thing.
Wishful thinking.
What I love mostly about what I love about these shows as well, and Dave and John touched upon this in gallery, I think part of the gallery of season 1, the behind the scenes, were that they wanted to take the figures that were the not so popular ones, like the IG droid, the Ugnaught, the ones you hand down to your little brother, your little sister, and they say, oh, I don't want these ones. And we want to make those the cool ones again. Yes. So I love the fact that they're taking the toys and making them, you don't just see the R2 unit. You don't see just the protocol droid. You see everything else around it, and you can see the inner workings of Star Wars, which is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, that's what's great about this, because it's been out there, so I'm allowed to say it. With the Jawas, because everybody always think of, like, when you say Star Wars, like the OG people would say R2D2 or CP3O, or whenever you think of Star Wars, Ewoks, etc. But they didn't say Jawas, and so now you see the Jawas. And so when I go and do cons or I meet people, they're like, oh my God, the Jawas were my favorite. I'm so glad, and they get so excited to meet us. And it's like, wow, like they're like, you just don't know, I love the Jawas, because the Jawas were mischievous and they were scavengers, etc. I'm like, really? They're like really excited to meet us. And then like the droid R5, he plays it plays a big part in here. It's not R2D2, it's actually R5. So I think that's cool about how Dave brought toys, or brought characters to life. They were there and they were cool and they did cool things in the original Star Wars, but they were just there. Now he's bringing them all to life and making them a big deal,
giving them more meaning.
Yes,
absolutely. So a great segue into this is you played an Offworld Jawa in Mandalorian, and then you played a Tatooine OG Jawa in the Book of Boba Fett.
Correct.
What were some of the differences between the costumes between the Offworld and the Tatooine Jawas?
Okay, so when we're in Navarro, we play the Offworld Jawas, and that's the gray with the red eyes, and that's in Mando 1. Mando 2, I play a big scene in Chapter 9, the martial scene. So this is how you know Boba Fett is alive, is because in the martial scene when he's there, then I'm the Jawa, and that's the one I'm credited. You'll see me with the crystals.
Okay.
How you knew that Boba Fett was alive, because we find the armor
in the Camtono or whatever it was.
So that crystals and everything, what that big scene with the Jawas, well, that's me. So we were actually in that one, we were brown, right? We were brown, and the original Jawas, the brown and the orange eyes, right?
Yep.
Eyes, right? And so then Book of Boba Fett, we're brown. Wait, we're brown or gray? We're gray.
Yeah, I think you're brown and yellow eyes again.
Brown and yellow eyes again.
Right, because it's more traditional style Jawa. Where everybody was sort of confused at first. I mean, obviously, not every Jawa is going to look exactly the same on every planet or whatever. So That's one good thing I thought was interesting about this episode we're going to watch is the Tusken Raiders, the way that they designed them, which was kind of interesting. A little bit different than what we saw in the original movies.
So we have to ask, what was in the suga?
Oh, the egg?
Yes. See, I call by
Was it-
what you guys called it, and you called the egg, which is awesome. So
Giant Cadbury egg.
It's just a big thing of gook.
Okay.
An egg.
Probably like pudding or something.
I can't even describe it. I just know it was like slimy, and I think that day it rained. We had a lot of rain days at the time when we were in season 1. So like what was interesting, we talked about it before, is like the next day, if it rained that day, we would be like all muddy and everything. And the next day they would have to, if it wasn't raining and it was dried up, they had to make it rain and make it muddy again. So we had to be
Oh wow.
Replicate the conditions. Yeah.
So yeah, but to answer your question, I don't even know what it is, because we, like I said, we're masked up and everything. I don't even know what was
Right.
I know it was big and gooky.
It was some weird thing that they use on set, most likely.
And it's funny because after Celebration in 2019, online they actually sold stuffed eggs. Like it was a doll
Plush,
version of.
I seen that.
I actually, I have it up in my storage room, but because I had to get it, I was like, that is so cool. Like I needed that in my collection. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting idea. You know, just have a plush version of the Suga. You know, why not?
They sell
Run around screaming.
They sold it at a Celebration, right?
They sold it on their online store, because I think it was supposed to be for the 2020 con that they were going to sell them, and then they had to obviously clear their warehouse after it got postponed. So they just started releasing all the merchandise, and when I saw that, I'm like, that's the first thing I need to buy from this collection, because that's awesome. Like that's
so cool.
I don't know, it's great. Oh, so we had our first question from one of our members, and it's from our member Bryce, and he wanted to say, what was it like to work in the volume?
In the volume? The volume is really cool. It's just like magic. I mean, it's a huge studio. I can't even really describe it, but it's like a huge, big. It's one of the sound stages. It's actually really cool. It's just cool how it's done. It's cool.
Is it 360-degree LED walls?
Like I know there's
ceiling as well.
I know there's lights on set. So like if we filmed outside, and then when you go in and you're doing the inside scenes, it's a replica of what we were outside. So it's like, cool. Oh, I remember this, or like, oh, that's what we saw, or whatever, So that's pretty cool.
With some practical stuff on set, just to give it more of a like.
Oh yeah, there's stuff like it's just like it's like if you went to Disneyland, and that one theater that's big and round, and the thing moves around. It's kind of like that. I would say, except then you have the ground, and then everything is all set up. So everything is normal.
It's
here.
the same props.
Yeah, everything is propped up here, but then
But it's the exterior part, right?
The sky, or the
right
here, it's like a big movie theater type thing.
Right, like like circle vision was what I think you were talking about.
You guys seen that? You guys seen that? If you see behind the scenes, so it's nothing like I'm saying something that.
No, we've all seen the galleries and stuff about talking about the volume specifically. Yeah. It's great to have some on-set, information direct from, somebody who's been there. So
yeah. So if you see if you go and look at the galleries, it's the same thing. Everything is normal here. Like if we were on location outside, but then this way it's the big volume. So volume means it's like almost like a big screen around you, but like rounded.
Right.
like
There was some amazing ways that they used that, especially with when they finally brought in Boba and used the volume for the way that the ship moved when they was taking off.
Yeah.
That was really cool with the practical set that they were sitting in, and then it was great to be like in the ship while you saw this thing rotate when you had only seen it from outside. Very cool.
Yeah.
So with ladies and gentlemen, once again, we are here with Leilani and Ariel Shiu from the Book of Boba Fett and from Mandalorian. If you have any questions, please, put them in the chat. We will be starting in about 7 minutes, so please make sure that you have it queued up on episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett up on Mandalorian. Up on Disney Plus. I get so confused so quickly. So we had actually one question from our member Gary. How was it working with Robert Rodriguez?
Oh, he's awesome. He's one of my favorite directors. He's very we've been a fan of his, so when you meet him, he's very creative. I mean, all our directors are. We worked with Bryce Howard. We worked with big names, Deborah Chow. We worked with all of them. But yeah, Robert he's really awesome. Very he'll think of something and then he'll have us do, or he'll tell us, hey, you guys did a great job today. He's very friendly. Like afterwards, some sets you go to, and not this one, but some sets you go to, you film and you don't actually talk to the directors or anybody, but he really loved us as Jawas, so he would come and say, oh my god, you guys did a great job today, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like he's very friendly, very talkative to us.
Is Bryce as much of a sweetheart as she seems like on the screen?
Oh yeah. Oh, I love her. She's awesome. She's funny. She was great. She's great to work with. Like
it's family sort of.
I was a fan of course, her dad.
Right.
I actually used when I first started, I used to do character animation. So I worked like with Ron Howard, but I never worked direct. So I was always a fan of his because I worked at James Cameron. I did special effects. I did animation. So,
wow.
So it's kind of cool when you get to meet like the daughter, or you get to meet them. It's like really cool.
Nice.
Were you on set at all when George Lucas was on set for any of the shows?
We wish.
We wish. We weren't there that day. We weren't that. Yeah, unfortunately, we weren't there that day when you got to see Baby Yoda. Yeah, we weren't there. But
oh wow,
that would have been cool.
So here's a question that we've asked everybody that has been involved in Mandalorian, and I'm going to ask this question first directly to Ariel. What did you think of the child the first time you saw him on set?
Oh, I just fell in love with him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some people don't have the same feeling, but most people.
Yes. Well, actually, Mom got to see him first on his first day.
Oh, so cute! Oh my god! Oh, I like the little Santa. Well, I was lucky because my first day on set, like you said, we didn't even know we were Jawas. So when we got on set, we got placed and we can't see because of the mask. And when they said, and like I said, they didn't name him Yoda. They didn't name him nothing. They just said baby. So when they said bring out the baby when it was time to film, they said bring out the baby. So the baby comes out, and we're like, okay, baby. And then they start filming, and then they cut, and then they finally take off our mask so we could breathe, right? So when we were breathing, it's like, is that Yoda? Oh, baby Yoda. Is that Yoda? I didn't even call him baby. Is that Yoda? And like,
yeah.
Oh my god. So me and my little people friends were like, that looks like Yoda. Oh my god. And then we seen droids and stuff, and we're like, but they were kind of different, and we're like, because it wasn't like R2D2 or whatever, it was other droids, and we're like, dang, this looks familiar, And we didn't even think it was Star. We're just like, dang, that looks like Yoda, you know, like a baby version of Yoda, right? And so we didn't even know what we didn't, because like I said, they didn't tell us the name of the show or nothing like that. And like, oh my god. So yeah, it was like,
So
oh my God.
even fully gimmicked up and everything of that nature, you didn't realize that you were a Jawa?
No, well, okay, because because in that season we were a different color. A Jawa
Right.
is normally brown and orange eyes,
Right.
Red eyes, right?
Yellow
Orange
eye.
So yellow eyes, right? So so we were gray with the red eyes.
Right.
So we're like, okay, I guess we're some, because the name they named us was totally off, right? So we're like we didn't know what we were. So we're like, oh, okay, like, okay, we're this, you know? It was like, okay. Because what they named us was totally like something different. So we're like, oh, okay, I guess new name for us. So we don't know. So we didn't know until we started working what we were going to be. So yeah, it was like I said.
How was the practical? I know they built half of it, but how was the practical set of the Sandcrawler? It looked pretty awesome.
Oh, it was huge. Yeah, it was huge. When we did the Sandcrawler scenes, yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty like, yeah, it's pretty massive. Like I was in the for that season 1, I was the driver. I was the Sandcrawler driver. So
Okay.
You have Mando, you have Ariel. Ariel was in that one, and then you have a little, which her name is Nikki. So you had 3 of us in there, and I was the captain of the Sandcrawler. So I was the driver, and then Mando, and so we all fit in this tight space.
Was that Brendan who was with you at that
Yes.
time?
Mm-hmm. Yes, so that was Brendan.
He's a great guy himself.
I love Brendan. Brendan will tell you. We love
Chief are absolutely hilarious. For anybody who met them both.
How much did you guys work with Brendan versus like Pedro, or
Lateef,
in terms of being a Mandalorian?
I don't know if I could talk about it, but I could say that I worked a lot with Brendan and Lateef. I could say that. I worked a lot with them. I'm very close to them too. So I work very close. Like we're like family now. We and Brendan and Lateef. So we're very close. But yeah, we worked a lot. I worked a lot with Brendan and Lateef. So
so before we start, I just have one more question for both of you guys. First we'll go for Ariel. Is what was your favorite moment about working on Mandalorian?
Just being a Jawa. Like just like mine was like a childhood dream come true, just being a part of Star Wars family. And like my mom said, like we've been Star Wars fans since I've been born. So I am now 30. So yeah, just being a part of the Mando family.
Oh, and then we're close to the original Ewoks, so we're close to Nikki.
Oh, nice.
We're close to Kevin Thompson. He was the original Ewok.
Kevin's actually a
good friend.
Good friend of the group. He's been on our show several times.
Yes, so we're very close to them. Yep, I'm close to Tracy, his wife. So
he's very nice.
So are we.
We're a big fan of them. We're friends with them.
They're fantastic.
We're a big fan of them. So and even Ariel calls him Uncle Kevin and Auntie Tracy. So we're very close to them. And then Nikki, we're close to Nikki.
That's awesome. Well, I guess this is the best time to make the announcement, because I was going to save it for the end of it, but since you mentioned Kevin, I kind of have to, is that for those who are watching right now and plan to be at our event, the Bunta Eve Cantina, appearing along the sides of Kevin Thompson will be Leilani and Ariel. So you'll be able to meet them at our event the night before celebration, get autographs, and yes, you'll get to see Uncle Kevin and Auntie Tracy there too. So I figured it was a nice segue, you know?
Yes.
Perfect.
That'd be awesome.
And also, you will also be joined that night with Eric Walker, who was in the Ewok movies,
Okay.
as well as Dominic Pace, who played Gecko in season 1
Oh wow.
of Mandalorian. So more to be announced, but yes, I was going to wait till the end, but yeah, the big surprise tonight is these two lovely ladies are going to be joining us in Anaheim. So we'll hope you guys will be there on May the 25th.
Yes.
More information to come to that soon. So I guess we're about to start up the episode. So please, if you have episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett all queued up, we're going to start the 10-second countdown when everybody's ready. Are you ladies ready?
Yep.
Yeah.
Watching
Okay.
this. Go.
Okay. We're going to start in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Utini! Sorry, I had to do it.
That's awesome.
Did you guys actually get to say the lines, or were they actually overdubbed?
No, we wish. Yeah, I think it's like a little. It's CGI.
It's a specific kind of sound, so they probably have canned versions of all the Jawa noises that they could
They
just
would
throw
all
in.
sound different.
I think it was like also like I mean, you saw like in episode 3 when you and Hayden, they were actually making the noises of the lightsabers, and Laura Dern, when she was in Last Jedi, she was going pew pew, and they were like, no, we're gonna add that in later. But it's hard not to get like, into it,
Oh,
Yep.
So I have to say, one of my personal favorite parts of this episode in particular is the flashbacks. It's almost the torment that Boba Fett went through. From like you could see the scenes from Camino and from Geonosis, and then seeing his father. Which, hey, nice shout out to Mr. Daniel Logan with his appearance right there. Pretty awesome. OG right there.
Yeah. So that wide shot is
But
supposed to be an
I don't know.
unused
To me,
shot
it was a nice way to bring your.
from the first from
But it was
episode
nice
2.
to see. It's nice to see, some, and obviously, the Sarlacc pit. So, Leilani, I got to ask you, as an OG Star Wars fan, how did you feel about finally seeing how Boba escaped?
How did I feel about it?
Yeah, about finally figuring out how Boba was.
That was so cool.
Actually seeing it on screen versus hearing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
About
It's like, yeah, it's cool to see what we did, because you don't know what segments or how things are put together. So we're all surprised too. So like we're like, oh my God, are we gonna be at the beginning? And then so when we turn it on and we're like, oh my God, there's us, or there's a scene. That's what we did. Day, whatever, So it's actually really cool. It's really cool how they put it together. So yeah.
I love how you can see the sail barge right by the Sarlacc pit scene right there. This is directly from his palace comic book of how Boba escapes. It's pretty awesome how he just, the fists right out of the sand and like crawling out. It's nice that they're going back to the literature and doing some sort of fan service and showing how everything's interconnected. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Love the disabled tentacle that's lying there, because that's the one that Lando shot when he was trying to get Han to get released.
Okay, so here comes the sand crawler.
Oh, getting crazy. Yep.
And there goes the helmet. So you're in this scene, correctly?
Yes.
Those
I'm on
yellow
the
eyes.
left leg, and Ariel is on the right leg. We're pulling his pieces off.
Was that Tim or was that a stand-in?
Hmm? Was that
Tim at that time, or was it?
That's Tim.
That's Tim. No,
Oh,
Tim did
wow.
all the stuff. Tim,
Oh,
Tim did
really?
everything. Yeah. That was definitely Tim.
Did he even do
How's
the coming out of the
he to work
sand
with?
thing?
That's Tim. That's definitely Tim. You'll see his face. That's all Tim. It's definitely Tim did a lot of all his stuff that I can't speak for everything else, but the stuff that he did with us, he's always was with us. Like
Nice.
anything he did, like he was covered in goop. We're covered
Yeah.
in goop. We're covered in mud. He's covered in mud. Yeah. I don't know about other shows.
How was he to work with?
He's awesome. Oh my God, he's very protective of us Jawas. I can tell you that, us littles. A lot of the scenes we did, like some of the things were kind of a little shaky or dangerous or not stable, and he was very protective of us. And like he should he should be going and sitting in his chair or go back into his trailer, but no, he wanted to be part of it, and that's what's great about him. Him and Robert was always like, for our scenes, they were
Right.
always around us, especially when we were doing something with him. He was always with us.
Well, for those who don't even realize it, and maybe been a fan of the movie Moana, Tim was the voice of Moana's father,
Yeah, that's so big.
which is pretty awesome. Though he did not do the singing in this one. It was actually Christopher Jackson who played George Washington. Hamilton was the singing voice from Moana's father, but it was Tim who did the voice for it, which I thought obviously is okay. You got Jango Fett, now Boba Fett, Moana's father, and Jason Momoa's father.
Yeah, I was just gonna
guess,
say
if
he's
you wanna bring
Aquaman's
in
dad
Aquaman
too.
That's so cool. Yeah. We're watching it up too.
Easy to get caught up in it.
Yeah, we're like,
Yeah. So if you have any questions for the Shiu girls, please let us know. They will be with us for this episode. And we're watching episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett. They just entered the encampment and we are at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And Jeff, I mean, it's impressive how they went from clay huts in episode 2, Attack of the Clones, to basically almost like teepees.
Yeah, they're more tent style. Maybe it's something that can be more nomadic and they can pack up and leave quicker based on their history with some guy named Anakin. I'm not sure, but I love the dress though. It's you have the standard looking head, but then there's a variation of the dress.
you're talking about Tim? You're talking about
No, I'm talking about the Tuscans themselves. I'm sorry, but like his necklace there as well. It's stuff you hadn't seen before, really. This looked like it was not great. Getting beat on.
The costume designers are awesome. Everything was as you can see, everything is like very well designed.
I love the fact that we're also seeing, like, for example, we're used to like you were talking about, the OG Jawas with the brown with yellow eyes, and then obviously the Offworld with the gray with the red eyes. But also, if we're thinking about episode 4, or for you millennials, it's called A New Hope. We call it Star Wars. It's going to be Star Wars.
Always has been.
But the Tusken Raiders is a khaki, brownish, earthy color type of clothing, and to see them having different, almost like a different sect with some different
Right.
other earthy color, darker colors, and jewelry is a nice change itself, because it's not just what our narrow-minded view of just what that was, even though we knew that for 40 plus years. It's nice to see some change on that
Hmm. Oh yeah, it is nice. You could see the design, the pieces. Yeah, it's really cool.
Love how he
But also,
knocks them out. And
we're
then
used to
had some-
Greedo being green. It's nice to see,
Yeah, considering they only showed us green Rhodians in episode 4, having a different colors scheme is kind of cool. But right here, this kind of confirms that all Rhodians are dicks.
that is true.
Yeah, the Rhodian's pretty cool.
One thing I have a problem with the Rhodian is the fingers that they did. They didn't give them any kind of like structure inside, so they seem a little floppy especially when it's digging.
Hmm.
But it's a small thing.
So if you are not a Jawa, which creature of the Star Wars universe would?
If I wasn't a Jawa, my
Yeah.
let's see. My wish is to be RT-D2, RT or R5. But because I grew up with RT-D2, but unfortunately I don't fit in it. So
Did you ever get to meet Kenny?
No, I didn't. I wish I did.
Yeah, he was very cool.
He was a really cool guy. I wish I
Yeah.
did. I might have, because I belong to the Little People organization. So
Oh, okay.
with
In passing or something.
Yeah, I grew up with because Billy Barty started our foundation, and so I
Right.
always went since I was a little kid, since I was born actually. So I probably have, but I don't know.
Right. I met Billy Barty once.
Oh,
I
we
got his
did.
autograph. Yeah.
He's so awesome. He was so awesome.
They shot the movie Under the Rainbow at the end of my street.
Really?
And,
Oh my god.
and then the city of Culver City gave him the key to the city after the movie had wrapped or came out or whatever, and I was able to get his autograph. I thought, sure, I have it somewhere, but it was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, that's so awesome. This is how long ago, because I was born in. So when I was growing up, being little, my parents had a hard time getting me into school. They wanted to put me in the what do you call them now? Special needs school, and not put me in regular kindergarten. So he had to come down and fight for me to put me in regular kindergarten. And so that's how close we were. Billy was very advocate for all us littles. And so I grew up with him. Like I did a lot. I did so being in acting and everything, he got me into it. And as a child, I was in his, he did the Short Ribs series. I was in that. I was in when the song Randy Newman did, and it upset the little people.
Short People.
Not Nobody. He did his version from Where I Stand. So I was part of it. I'm actually in the with Bull from Night Court.
Oh, nice.
Ross and everybody. It's actually on YouTube now. But yeah.
Cool. This is one thing I think everybody who wears armor should have is armor droids.
Oh yeah.
Putting on armor is not fun.
Are those just pimped out pit droids, Jeff?
They have similarities to pit droids, mainly in the head, but I think they're just some other variation of droids.
And as we learned at the in the credits later on, this Akalesh is played by, I think this is Barry. This is Barry Lowen, who was one of the stand-ins for Mando but also the droid, which a lot of people will recognize from Return of the Jedi as the torture droid, is voiced by Matt Berry from Where We Are in the Shadows, and our good friend Chris Bartlett.
And right there is Mr. Rodriguez himself.
Oh yes.
Yep, from the Trandoshan.
Did he voice that, or did he just
I don't
portray it?
I can't tell you.
I think he could have done that well. I love that line and the way that Boba reacts.
Yep.
May you never leave, Mos Espa. See, they call him 88 in the subtitles, but then he's credited as something else. I heard. I didn't double check the credits. This guy is so creepy.
But you see, the funny thing is that it's funny how is Twi'leks, and obviously the first thing old school fan think of is Ula from Return of the Jedi, which was the servant of Jabba, played by Femi Taylor. But it's funny that after Clone Wars, the Twi'lek characters with Ahsoka just became more and more mainstream, and that they're everywhere you see that everyone's like, oh my God, I know exactly what that it was. So it goes back to the power of, I want to say, we live in the Filoniverse. He's going to bring these characters back.
Like you were saying earlier, the ones that he felt were sort of neglected or pushed to the side back in the day, and now give them a little bit of spotlight.
Yes.
Okay, so
cool.
So this with Uncle Kevin, but I want to ask it anyway. And I'm going to ask Ariel this question. This is from our member John. Who would win in a fight, a Jawa or an Ewok?
Well, ask Kevin that. Don't answer.
Oh, he'll absolutely say it's an Ewok.
I love his favorite.
I actually just texted him too. So
I love his favorite quote. It says, "Stormtroopers taste like chicken" or something.
Yeah. He posts about
he has
that
it on his T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
But who would win, Ariel? Who would win, a Jawa or an Ewok?
I don't know. Probably say Ewok.
Leilani, how about you? What do you think?
We don't want him mad at us. Because I'm a Jawa, I'll say a Jawa. But I'll say Jawa. Ariel can say Ewok.
Okay, that's fair.
I think some of our fans have asked that.
Yeah, they
always said Team Jawa or Team Ewok.
I know they always say that to us. They're like,
even though growing up, I've always loved the Ewok.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, you figure Ewoks more hand-to-hand Yeah, Ewoks are always more hand-to-hand combat, whereas Jawas, have their blasters and everything.
Weapons, stun guns and stuff.
And I think like the fans that are fans of Jawas, of us, they like us because we're mischievous and we have guns, and we get into all kinds of stuff. So according to fans, they like us.
Well, if you figure this out, is that because of what the Jawas did to the Razor Crest and stripped it in 5 minutes, boy was able to be taken apart just like the Jawas took it apart, which was pretty awesome. But I also felt bad for everybody who paid for that, because as soon as you finish pay for it, they destroyed the Razor Crest in the next episode on Mandalorian. I'm like,
next week they blew it up on screen.
So Ariel can say Ewoks. I can say Jawa.
Okay.
I love being a Jawa. I love what I do.
Oh, I love being a Jawa too. As I said, growing up, I loved Ewoks. But when I became a Jawa, that was different.
Right.
You'll see me in Ariel now. If you're
Oh, you guys are hanging out?
if you see us in the when they're walking and then the coins drop,
Yeah, that when they leave this.
we're going.
So here's a couple of Easter eggs in this particular scene. You could see the dealer is DJ Rex from Star Tours and from the
Is
Oga's
it
Cantina.
DJ Rex or is it a Rex droid?
It might be a Rex droid, but it's an Easter egg. But also in the Max Rebo band they have over there, they're playing a remix version of the Cantina theme.
Oh yeah.
Nice. It was great to see Max Rebo again.
Yeah, I was waiting for Twick Dan to be play the same song again, just like from the Family Guy episode.
Yeah. Did you guys get? You had, if you were in the scene, you worked with Jennifer, right?
Yes.
That as a okay, as a child of the Hooters, you must have loved seeing Jennifer Beals, especially being from Flashdance. I mean, that was a huge movie back in 1980.
Yeah. I know, because
Classic.
my managers, because I couldn't say nothing because we signed an NDA or anything, and so
Yes.
they had to watch the show first, and so they're like, "You didn't tell us you worked with her," and I was like, "I'm not allowed to tell you guys stuff."
I had to sign
But we're
something
your
that
manager.
I wouldn't.
I was like, I wasn't allowed to tell you all this stuff. What? You worked with her? Oh my God. I was like, well, I wasn't supposed to tell you. So they're like, how was it like?
That's all.
It's cool. Yeah.
One.
Now that was now we can, but
Yes.
so you're where she's with Boba right now, right? In the cantina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And they just brought Fennec and Boba their helmets, and his helmet is shinier than Fennec's.
Yeah, they're leaving right now.
It's nice as opposed to what we saw in Mandalorian. I mean, it was nice to see the pit fighters, but that's how we remember Gamorreans from when we were children.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
They had a little more clothes on back then, but that's okay.
Oh, we love these Gamorreans. The Gamorreans, Boba Fett, they're the nicest.
Mhm.
We love them.
How was Ming Na?
Oh, she's awesome. First of all, we're a fan of her, and
Yeah.
As you should be.
I'm not.
Ariel's, that's her favorite princess is her.
Oh yes.
And
Ooh.
what's great about her is because I'm Chinese and she's Chinese.
Oh, here we go. There you are.
Grabbing coin.
You're there. There you guys are.
Yep.
This is an intense scene.
But you were saying, I'm sorry about Ming Na?
Because we're Chinese and she's Chinese, so we get along very
Right.
well with that. I love her.
She seems very
It's
kind of.
royalty. If you figure that she hit the trifecta, she's Mulan, she's Agent May, and now she's Phoenix Shan. She's hit the main three. So
She's so awesome, and she's a warrior. She's awesome. Yeah, she's good. We love her. Oh yeah, well, I love her. She loves us too.
I saw a great interview with Ming Na and Kelly Marie Tran right after season 1 of Mando.
Mm.
And it was right during the Raya Last Dragon presser. They brought on Ming Na to meet Kelly, and Kelly's like, "Oh my God, you're a Disney princess," and she's like, "Oh my God, you were in Star Wars," and now they're like, we have both of them together. So that was awesome to watch.
It's so awesome, and she's so awesome on set. She's not you know how some stars you can't go near, but she's not that way. She's her, and this set was so awesome. Her and Tim, they're very good. They're awesome to work with.
That's great.
Yeah, she loves the Jawas.
Yeah, she loves the Jawas.
Mhm.
So you can talk about us. We're like, my Jawas. Good morning.
Mhm.
So we have a question from our member, John. Did you mention at any time with Misty while you were on set for Mando?
Did I have her on? Yes, I had her. Did I meet her on set?
Or do you have time to spend time with her on set of Mando, or is it more afterwards that you got to know Misty a little more?
Well, we did a couple scenes because you know how Cole is with me, and then the frog lady was with me. I did I played a cantina because I played a couple characters. So I played a cantina character, and she was with me as the frog lady, and then she was with me as the Jawa scene in chapter 2. She was
Right.
with us. So but to get to know her, I got to know her more when doing the cons. Me and
Oh
her
wow.
like besties now. Her and Chris, and we're like, because now I've been doing the con, so they have us group together. So
Mhm.
it's usually me with Misty, with
Love it.
uh, Tate and Chris Bartlett. We're
Right.
usually together, and Barry. We're usually together, and then Emily. So it's been great. It's
Oh,
It's
very
awesome.
so
cool.
we've
That sounds
gotten
like a
we're
great
very
group of
close.
people.
Yeah, we're very close. So I'm excited. Hopefully, we'll be with the Book of Boba Fett cast next with the cons coming up. That'll be
That would be
Absolutely.
great. I love how the transitions to these flashback scenes are so grainy and like old school TV snow and like
Mhm.
discoloration, and then it sort of slowly blends into their like true shot.
Mhm.
Robert does some great stuff.
Yeah, he did a great job. Him and like Dave and John are very active on the with everything.
There's
So
some
even
great
though the
shots and Navarro
Hmm.
of John just going with the big gun that they had in episode 8 season 1. Just like a kid in a candy store. He had this big ass grin on his face. It was pretty awesome.
He's actually that way. He
But
really
here's
is that way in person. He is that way. He's
one of
very
the things I always loved is that there's a
mhm.
meme out there about John being the guy who saved Christmas, saved Marvel, and saved Star Wars. And yet he was one of the swingers, and he was Gutter in PCU. So you look at this guy who played the stoner guy and the drunken back in the 90s, and all of a sudden, look at John Favreau now.
Oh my God, he's amazing. He's amazing.
He's on my list. I have a list of Star Wars people that I want to meet, and those two, him and Dave, are like they're up there because they just seem awesome.
they're I can say it
But I
now.
would say that most these days want to meet John and Dave.
Well, I can say it now. I couldn't say it before, but at the end of chapter 2, when we filmed the big scene with all of us Jawas, um, the Jawas that were left, he gave us each a coin. I guess he makes coins,
Like
and
challenge points.
and so he made when he's done with Marvel, he'll make a coin as a gift. So we were
Nice.
blessed to get a coin. So for season 1, I got the coin. So it's like so cool. Me and
That's
Ariel.
awesome.
It's a nice collectible.
Yeah, he's very awesome. He's very nice, very personable.
This is a very big callback to A New Hope, which was actually kind of cool. I mean, I know when I first saw the moisture farm over here, I was thinking, okay, wait a minute, that's not the Lars homestead because that got
No.
burnt like 15 years ago. But it was still kind of cool. But for those who read the comic books, Jabba's guild, they made a lot of money, was water tax. And that's where those red troopers were going there trying to get their money from that moisture farmer. I guess
Those
part
are
of
the
the lore was that that Obi-Wan kept them at bay from Luke and the Lars family. So it's going to be pretty cool to see where they go, especially since those were also the same people who, if you watch the episode The Marshal, which some people we know that are in that episode, they're the ones who attacked the cantina in that first episode.
Yep. Or we're in the canteen. Yeah. Fought off. Use that rocket.
Yep.
That was pretty cool. I love how Boba doesn't necessarily understand everybody immediately. And he had to go over and over with the kid to get like what he really wanted him to do.
I also love seeing the Mastiffs, especially since we saw them in the prequels
In episode 2
as well.
Yeah.
Did we see a Mastiff in the arena in Geonosis as well, or is it just with the Sand People?
Was it what? I'm sorry.
I
You're asking
think
The Mastiff, the Tusken Raiders dog, I guess you want to call it. We're trying to figure out, where else we saw them, because we know we saw them in Attack of the Clones with the scene
their
with Anakin when he went to
yeah.
save his mother.
It may have been. I can't remember if those were in the scene in the arena or not.
I thought that kid was such a jerk. He took the water from Boba and just fed to his dog. I'm like, wow.
He spilled half of it on the ground. Dog didn't even get that much.
Oh, it was the next two. Thank you, Richard. Oh, we have Richard from the Skywalking Through Neverland group, which we also announced today on their show that they will be part of the Bunta Eve Cantina as well. So it'll be very nice. But once again, we want to thank everybody for joining us tonight. We're here with Leilani and Ariel Shiu from The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett. We're watching episode 1. We are at 30 minutes and 30 seconds, literally. And as we mentioned before, joining good friend Kevin Thompson, Eric Walker, and Dominic Pace, Leilani and Ariel will be joining us at the Bunta Eve Cantina May the 25th. Biggs Bar and Grill, which is in Fullerton, the night before celebration. And maybe we'll do karaoke. Ariel, will you sing for us when we do karaoke?
Yes.
It's so freaky this
With
thing.
Kevin. You can sing with our Uncle Kevin.
There you go. You can do a
That'd
duet.
be awesome. Okay, so I've been meaning to ask this every screen Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat
coming out of the sand.
Oh, this
But
one?
I heard it was very much from Clash of the Titans. That's a movie that Robert wrote.
More of a direct correlation to that character that was in that with 4 arms or whatever. Ooh, bye Rodian.
But of course, the first thing I thought of was Mortal Kombat. And I'm just gonna go stab you in the foot. Get out of here, kid. Backhand.
It's still stuck in his foot. See,
Yeah.
He's like, that's what pissed him off.
I was
He
kind of
had to
hoping
slap
that they were
him.
going to do like what I thought they were going to do what Harry Potter did to the ogre in Sorcerer's Stone when he was on his neck, was going to stick the thing up his nose.
Oh. There you go.
Such a
Okay.
great scene.
So from Return of the Jedi when Leia kills Jabba.
Very reminiscent of that. Except we don't see people. Well, I don't want to say it yet because spoiler alert.
Can't say none.
I'll let it. We'll get to the.
We actually from when we were watching Mandalorian, Jeff kept on saying this. We actually have a T-shirt that says "Spoiler Alert," which you can buy at our TeePublic store. Yeah, he would do that all the time.
It's because I
And
would
I
start
also
to
love the
talk about
fact-
something that hadn't come up yet, and then be like, "Oh, okay, spoiler alert."
I love the fact that you have the little Tusken running up to his family with the head of the creature, like I did it, and Bubba's like, yeah, whatever, I'm holding the chain here, kid. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you take the credit. And then it looks like his father or his grandfather is coming up to him at the end and going, I know it was you. You deserve this.
Well,
Like,
that's basically
here's
it.
some
He
water.
acknowledges. what he did. Didn't let the kid die. Didn't bail out on him. I'm, going back to an encampment where you're being enslaved, though, is not the best thing to do willingly. I hope we get a lot more sort of that in between when we see Boba in Mando and this scene coming up. But look at that right there.
Yeah, here it is. It's like, here, yeah. You deserve a beer.
Yeah. Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special. Have a drink.
All the credits.
Oh, I love the credit paintings that they have, like in
Oh, this
Mandalorian.
concept art is amazing.
yeah.
Isn't it nice?
This is all Doug Chang mostly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
But wow,
That was
well,
great.
it's
Great insight.
absolutely fantastic. I'm very excited to see where this is going. I'm excited. There's more Star Wars. After having a year of Marvel, we got Star Wars, and next year's going to just be Star Wars and Star Wars and Star Wars, which is we've been waiting for this. It's gonna be so much fun. So once again, thank you so much to Leilani and Ariel. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us a little bit of tidbits about what you could talk about with this episode and with Mandalorian. Hope you very much enjoyed being with us. We very much loved having you guys, and
yes.
we'd love to have you join us again whenever you want to come back.
For sure. Definitely. We would love
Lots
to.
of fun.
Thank you for the invite.
Oh,
we look
it's,
forward to was it May, right? We look forward in May.
Yep,
We're excited about
it's
that.
going to be great. As we mentioned, they're going to be at the Bunta Eve Cantina signing autographs and taking photos with all of our fans, along with Uncle Kevin and Aunt Tracy. They'll both be there as well. I'm going to be calling him that. Like, I'm going to text him in a few minutes. What's up, Uncle Kevin? It's done. No, I'm just very, very excited about the future. I'm very excited about what we have planned for Celebration. I'm excited about everything Star Wars. But thank you so much for joining us tonight. Everybody had such a wonderful time listening to you guys tell your stories tonight. So thank you both so much for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
And this episode will be on our YouTube page, which is the youtube.com/the Virtual Cantina Network. Probably by the end of the weekend, which I'll send you both the link to it once we have it back up on the page. But also for all your Virtual Cantina needs, everybody, please go and check it out. Next Tuesday, we have our first Virtual Cantina happy hour of the year, which we will talk about this episode as well as our after hours. And next week, episode 2, which is pretty awesome. Jeff, anything before we close out tonight?
It was a great episode. It was great having the insight from you two. I really enjoyed it. You guys seem very personable and sweet, and hope you'll be enjoying your time at Bunta Eve with the rest of us. And
Sure.
maybe we can get on another watch along between now and then or something. We'll see.
You let me know. You let me know.
Absolutely.
Really good to the last one.
Ladies, anything you want to say before we close out tonight?
Just keep following us. I know we got fans out there. We are on social media. Mine's at Jawa JAWA _LEI for Leilani, and hers is at
Jawa _ Ariel ARIEL.
So keep following us. We're doing Comic-Cons. We're doing events that will lead into Celebration. So, and we look forward to talking to our fans and meeting our fans.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, once again, from Leilani and from Ariel and from Jeff, this is Spencer saying, may the force be with you, and this is the way.
Utini.
Utini!
Beanie.